Hello and welcome to the Specimen paper Grade 1 for the Grade 1 Theory Examination. Now this can be found in the Specimen papers which cover Grade A, Grade 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, which are available from www.vcmpublications.co.uk, or also can be available and found on www.silverwoodmusicschool.uk. So if I turn now to the Grade 1, you'll see first of all a very unusual way of writing a scale. Now sometimes questions can be worded in a slightly different way, which can cause confusion. So you just need to be aware of this, and this is why I think the Specimen papers are so important, because it does give you that opportunity to think out of the box and work out what it is you have to do on a question. You have actually covered all the material you need by going through the tutor book, but sometimes the phrasing and the wording within an exam paper can be slightly different. So if you look at this one, for example, it says, rewrite the following group of notes into a major scale. Now, you might panic when you see that in an exam situation. Now, what you've got to look at here is to look at the key signature. And then you'll realise, you see, that this piece is in the key of C, so all the notes are going to fit in within the scale of C major. So you then start looking through, finding the C note first, then the D note and the E note, and putting them in order on the stave. So if you get a question like this, which is slightly different to what you've actually experienced within the tutor book, don't panic, just take a deep breath, take stock and think, what is it and what part of the theory tutor book does this actually cover? And then it will make sense of that. And then underneath you've got a question which says, what key is this scale of? And then write the key signature of this key in the treble clef, which is a bit of a trick one really, isn't it? Right, and then you've got a section on the intervals. Now, we covered all the harmonic intervals in the tutor book, so provided you did that section successfully, this section shouldn't be a problem for you. Then section C says, write the tonic triad of D major as minims, and again that was covered in the tutor book, and it says use the key signature, and you can see it's written in the bass clef. The 2-bar answering phrase covers the composing element of the tutor book, very, very similar to what you did within the tutor book as well, so that shouldn't be a problem. So moving on to the next question, it says, add the correct bar lines to the following melody. So there we are, you have your melody here, and you have your time signature of 3/4. So work out how many crotchets you have in a bar and just add the bar lines in the correct places within the music. Then the next example, you have 3 examples here, and you have to add the time signatures in. So just be careful here, because the double bar lines show you that there's 3 different examples of this, so you have to put in 3 different time signatures on the exam sheet. The next question says, complete the following melody with rests. So this is where some of the rest that you learned in your First Steps tutor book comes in again, as well as maybe some alternative rests that you might have learned in your Grade 1 tutor book. Then the next question says, study the following extract and then complete the tasks below. So this is a very similar question to the ones that you've had within the tutor book. So you can see the questions that are asked as, how many sharps are used in the extract? Circle 2 uses of a tie. Describe what a tie does. Add a slur to an appropriate place in the music. Place a fermata over the final note. and write an Italian term to play slowly in the correct place. The next question asks you to rewrite the following melody, grouping the notes together for simple time. So you can see here, you've got a 3/4 time signature, you've got quavers in this, and you've got semiquavers in this. So bar and group the notes together to add up to the timing. Question 4 says, give the English meaning of any 5 of the following. So you have words of artempo, you learnt that in your first steps tutor book. Dal segno, you learnt in this one. Andante, you learnt in your first steps tutor book. Cantabile, you learnt in the grade 1 book. And then you've got one, accelerando. Now that one is quite a new word which hasn't been covered, and that's there to test your intelligence. Then finally you've got the word lento. So there's your 6 examples there. You only have to choose 5, so make sure you only answer 5 of these and not the full 6. Then the final question asks you to write the scale of D major ascending. Make sure you read that properly. Remember, ascending means going up. Use the time signature of 3/4 and appropriate note lengths to make 3 bars. And that completes the final exam paper for your grade 1. But before I just finish this section, I'd just like to say, please remember that this is only a specimen paper, and your exam paper will cover different questions, but they will be very similar to the ones that you find within this specimen paper.